11th meeting of the North Miami CRA Advisory Board. Can we begin first with a roll call?
Mr. Aristide?
Here.
Ms. Cobo is out of town. Ms. Cohen?
Here.
Mr. Each? Ms. Estime Urban is excused. She called. Ms. Geimer?
Here.
Mr. McDermott?
Here.
Dr. Milian?
Hi, here.
Dr. Moise?
Here.
Mr. Reynolds?
Here.
Mr. Robillard? Mr. Sanchez also is out of town. We have quorum.
All right, can we next begin with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, can we have a motion to accept last month's minutes?
So, second. I have something.
Okay.
The
Did that too fast.
Go ahead.
She's giving me grief because I asked questions.
Yeah.
Just what does this mean under new business? Ms. Sore having a threshold to indicate to contractors that they cannot 20% of the approved grant. What does that mean?
I'd have to read, let me see.
Page 5.
Oh, I think that was when we were talking about, I think she transcribed it incorrectly.
Okay.
But we were talking about having contractors and.
What? We need to rewrite it then.
Yes, yes.
So it's intelligible.
Needs to be rewritten, so it's, I think we understand what it is, we just.
I don't know. What is it?
It's tough when they were talking about the contractors and how much the percentage is that they charge, remember, Rashi?
Yes,
is
having
20?
like a 20%
Right. Threshold.
threshold in addition to what the grant amount is.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So if we can
All right.
amend that to make it
add,
clear.
yes.
Make it clear. Okay.
Okay. With that amendment,
See, I do read it.
any other amendments or changes? Being none, everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, moving on.
Next item is Continental Uniform Beautification Grant Request. Mr. Richard Babby is here in the audience. He had applied in May. Unfortunately, he had a last-minute family emergency. He was not able to come, and as you recall, the board voted to move it to the following meeting. Continental Uniform is located at 700 Northeast 125th Street. Mr. Babby is the owner and operator of the building. He intends to paint, stucco exterior of building and install new air units. He's requesting for the beautification grant, which is the $15,000 grant, and all the extras. As you can see, the lowest bidded amount was the Miami Skyline construction. It's $28,860, and he's aware that he's responsible for the overage past the $15,000. Again, it's improving the downtown corridor. It's improving a business that's in the downtown area. And if you're not familiar, Continental Uniform is one of the largest distributors of school uniforms for all the schools. Come school season, the line, the parking that we get is thanks to Mr. Babby here. And we discussed, since he was not able to get the grant in May, when he would be able to do the renovation. So he said around September is when, after the big rush, after school starts, he would do the renovations and improve the property. So if you have any additional questions, Mr. Babby's here to speak.
Okay, would you like to come up and introduce yourself, sir?
I'm Richard Babby.
Okay,
I'm
to the
sorry, you have to
microphone.
stand on the mic so they can record you.
Good evening. I'm Richard Babby. My brother and I, Bill, we've been in school uniform here in North Miami for 34 years. We own the building at 700 Northeast 125th Street. And it's in need of stucco work. It's in need of paint. I'm in an effort to, my brother and I, we're interested in keeping the integrity of our block, keeping things clean, and we'd appreciate the grant. I have all the other necessary funds to pay for the overage that needs to be done. I can pay it up front and then wait for the grant money. I can pay the difference of the $15,000, I can pay to the contractor up front. And after the work is completed, I can wait to get the grant you're offering me if need be. But I think that our neighborhood there and our block over there is just, you know, we're right across from the police station there, and we're next to City Hall. It's a centerpiece of the city. And I really want to make an effort to keep it clean there. And it's a little battle for us now, really. Okay, there's things going on there. I want to do the best I can and put my best effort toward keeping the property clean, and I appreciate the grant.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
I know building very, I know it very well. My kids, we bought kids uniform there every year, so we know the location very well. So
Okay.
Get a motion?
I have properties on that block, and they're a good neighbor. I think they had some stucco work done years ago, and it, you know, it's cracked, and it's no fault of theirs, I think, and it needs to be repaired. So I think it's great that they want to do it.
Stucco is usually good about, you know, after about 10 or 12 years, it starts
Yeah,
going.
I've had the same
and-
issues. It's problematic. Sometimes it's great, it lasts, and sometimes, you know, you have problems with it.
It's kind of like, it's almost like cancer. You got to go and you got to keep cutting and cutting and cutting. You need to cut out what's going to crack and fold. And once you start, it can be a big project, really. The secret to getting it done is to pay the correct amount of money so it's done properly, not half-assed over. And if you do that and you don't do it properly, 4 or 5 years down the line, you're back in the same situation again. But we had spoken to about 4 or 5 people, well, actually more than that. On the list you gave me of approved contractors, there was a list that the city provided for. And I think that I like this person we're dealing with. He's a decent guy, and I see how he approaches his work properly also too, really. I think he was, not only was it less money than the others, but I think the job would be done better by him than the other contractors. By the way, it's not an easy thing. I must have called 10 or 12 of these people to get them to come out. I mean, they don't show, or they come, they never give a bid back. I call them, and
Welcome to my world.
it's a little, it was a little involved, but I think I like, this guy from Skyline's a decent guy, and I trust in his work, really.
Okay. I'm sorry. Any questions?
what explains the difference in the price? Because you go like from 28 to 35 to 47. That's a big difference.
That's my question.
Yeah, it is really. I think, for example, the guy there at 40, the way I look at the guy there at 42 or whatever he was, I think how that is if they have 2 or 3 jobs going on, they just go out and they price you high, and if you jump on and take it, they take it. If they don't, they just, I think it depends on how much work they have going on, really, okay? When there's not a lot of work, the price is less. When they have a lot, they just throw it out there to see if it sticks to the wall, really, and they
This
yeah.
is exactly been my experience. You get a couple, you get a range, kind of a range, and then you get someone that's way out there because they don't really want the work. I mean, if you're going to pay them a fortune to do it, sure, they'll take it on.
That's
But
it.
if not, they don't really want it.
And we had someone that was very cheap, by the way, also too. But you cannot do that kind of work for that kind of price. They just weren't going. They didn't. I think what they were going to do was a little 1, 2, 3 over the stucco there and paint over. But you can't do that kind of work for that amount of money. You just
So I
Didn't go.
understand this for innovation or for beautification?
What?
Innovation or beautification?
Beautification, it's the
Both of them?
15,000, it's just a $15,000 grant.
For beautification?
He's going to match
Yeah,
the 15.
he's gonna cover the rest.
Oh, okay.
That's I think I mentioned that. The minimum bid is $28,860. He's asking for the beautification, and anything above that, he is responsible for. Get a motion?
Okay.
Oh, above the 15,000.
Okay, I make a motion to
Approve the grant?
Approve the grant.
approve the grant. I second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? All right, next.
Thank you.
Oh,
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Okay. All right.
We have a big package today, so give me 1 second. The Challenger School. The Challenger School is applying for a rehabilitation grant. It's located at 12128 Northwest 2nd Avenue. Ms. Beverly Hilton is here also to speak on behalf. Ms. Hilton has a private school running K through 12 grades in the building. She has 40 students, 1 part-time staff, and 3 full-time staff. She's requesting a rehab grant to expand a couple of the classrooms, knock down a few walls, change. She has single unit ACs in the rooms. She wants to do central AC and make the bathrooms ADA and repair the fence and put a new signage for the school. She submitted bids. The lowest bidded amount, as you see, is $86,000. There are no open violations. For the record, she had received a beautification grant in 2007 for $14,830 to update the parking, driveway, and some exterior work. This property is also owned by a church, so therefore they don't pay any property taxes. I have to say, it was a little bit conflicting for staff to proffer this forward, simply because when our mission in the CRA is to obviously beautify, enhance the property so that we can see a return on investment, so we can see something on the property taxes. This property is owned by a church. It's a school. It's a licensed school. So this would be more a benefit to the students, because she does have students in there, 40 students, and they need bathrooms to be properly renovated, ADA, and so on and so forth. So as you can see in the comments, it says, although this property does not present any direct return on investments, and the improvements would greatly benefit the students and the community it serves, it is really Ms. Beverly Hilton is here to answer any questions that you might have, but it's really the advisory board and the board's decision whether they would want to. Well, the guidelines say it's a rehab grant, so it would be 50% of the $86,000 thing bid, so it would be $43,000, which is a 50% of the lowest bidded amount. Okay. Ms. Hilton is.
Beverly, would you like to come up to the microphone and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit again about what you're doing, and anybody has any questions?
Okay, good afternoon, Beverly Hilton. Even though the property does not, is a nonprofit by the church, the student benefit 100%, because most of our students are coming from public school. And reason being is, as you see, my facility is small. They'd prefer to be in a larger facility, but based on academics, they're not making it. And that's why they chose the Challenger School. And we've been helping a lot of students so far. We've been doing this since 2005, actually. And the kids, we don't even advertise. It's all word by mouth. Parents are telling, today parents brought 3 children to register. They're in public school, they're not making it. So it's benefiting the community, not funds-wise, but keeping them out of trouble and helping them to excel in academics. So I need your support in this.
Okay, so you're working with basically challenged.
They're mostly challenged kids. I have a student that came to us, this is his 3rd year, and when he came, he was supposed to be in 7th grade, and he was reading at 3rd grade level. Now he's in his right grade, because we do have, it's 10 students to 1 teacher, and sometimes even less, because we also have private tutor, because we partner with Miami-Dade Title I, so they come in and tutor also. So it's benefiting the community, not financially, but
Indirectly.
yeah, indirectly. These kids will come and be our next.
So this is not a regular school, this is an after-hour program. So what
No,
is
it's a regular
No,
school.
regular
Oh, it's a regular school?
It's a regular
Oh,
school,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
How many students?
40.
40.
We have 40 students.
That's a lot of kids.
Actually,
space?
that 40, our max is 30. That 40 is extra. While we expand, we'll have more room to accommodate those students.
school has been around a long time,
Yeah.
and it's not a new facility. The community has been around for a long time. And I think it's struggled, but it's done its
Yeah.
fair share. It's struggled, but it's done its fair share to, I think, better the community.
Absolutely. We've been around since 2003, actually,
Yeah.
where we started with after school. We partnered with Johnson Wales, who offer after school student scholarship. They graduate and move on. So we've been helping the community for quite a while.
Anybody have any other questions? Do I hear a motion?
Yes, I move that we accept, that we grant.
Is there a
grant
second? Any other questions or comments? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you so
very
much. Also, our parents shop from Continental Uniform.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
They already left.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
He's not really- he's not
Thank
really
you.
resolution guy.
All right, the agenda item 3 is a big packet, and it's because IMC Property Management and Maintenance, Inc., Mr. Yoram Ishka owns a good percentage of the storefront on 125th Street, and he submitted applications, so I've divided them so not to, so I try to consolidate it into 3 different packets. So we're gonna go for the first one. Give me 1 second. All right, we're gonna do 901 Realty LLC. That's the building that's directly across from the Chase Building. They recently bought it in April, right, in
Yes.
April? They bought it in April. It's a 1-story building. I think it used to have a law firm or an accounting law firm in there. Accounting, Rabitsky and Levine. They recently bought it, and they've already found a tenant. It's a furniture store. They have 2 5-year leases.
Yes.
Yeah, up to 10
5
year.
year with an option of 5
With an
years.
option for renewal, and the tenant would lease the whole 8,000 square foot of the building. So they are applying for a rehab grant to completely rehab it. The cost, as you can see, for the rehab, the lowest bidded amount is $261,015. They are requesting $80,000 dollars, which is the max of the 50/50 rehab grant. To renovate the inside, impact windows and doors, and so on and so forth. There were 2 open violations from the previous owner at the time, and we notified them, and they satisfied them. One of them was a false alarm. The other one is it's not a violation, but it's the notice that they have to do their 40-year certification. And as they're renovating the building, they've hired an engineer who's taking care of all those steps that you need to pass your 40-year certification. So they've met all those requirements. Again, it's bringing a new business into our downtown, and this is what we would like to see. The company's called Lestrada Furniture. I looked up their website and everything. They look like a very nice high-end furniture store, and that's willing to move it in here. So Mr. De La Rosa and Mr. Emilio Alvarez, are the 2 agents for Mr. Yoram Ishka, in case you have any questions. And I think they also brought a mock-up of,
This is the 901 building at the top. So this is what it looks like now, and this is the architect's rendering of what it's gonna look like when we're done.
So that's not a canvas awning, it's some sort of metal awning? Or
This is
it
a metal,
canvas?
this one is a metal awning.
It's a metal awning that's gonna go all the way across the front and then over to halfway down the side.
On the side.
Yeah, the metal lasts longer and it gives it a nice clean look.
And it's similar to what we did with the dollar.
With the across the
With
street
our,
with where we have the
Simons.
Nike
I don't know if
Simons.
you're familiar with the Simons, the building we just put up
Has a similar metal
has the
style.
same
Yeah.
style.
It has a Nike store. It's right across the street.
it's a Simon's,
Simons,
Simons.
yeah.
a Nike
Yeah.
store.
Well, this is quite an improvement. This is a great addition to downtown. I mean, I'm on this street, every day. This is where my properties are. And this is great.
The tenant going in is a very it's a custom furniture maker and does amazing pieces. And the owner knows him personally, and he's coming from Broward to bring this location here. So.
Wow. Well, that'll be a great addition to all the other furniture stores that are downtown.
Absolutely.
Does he know they do the Friday night, once a month thing?
Well,
I don't know.
we will when we get
have
to that
put
point.
him involved in that.
Yeah.
It'll be, it's going to become, I believe, quite an event.
Like an art
The
walk.
last Friday of every month. It already is, it's already started.
Does
Any
a,
questions?
I'll tell you, not only is it gonna really improve that block, but the more of those kind of businesses we bring into the city on 125th Street, the more it's gonna really help revitalize the city.
Well, there's something to actually buy,
Yeah,
downtown.
exactly.
There's something to actually buy downtown.
Okay, so you want to handle each one of these individually?
Yes, so
correct?
this one is, I need your approval for the
Okay.
901 Northeast 125th Street. And also, you know, it's different folio, different sub-entities that they've created, so I just want to try to not
Okay,
overly
we'll
confuse
do one at a
everything.
time. Is there any other questions on this one? Do I hear a motion? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, let's move to the next property.
Okay, 805 Realty. Flip.
Look at those in the front. Oh, this one, this one's the twin, it's a continuation of that one.
There we go. 805 Realty. Okay. 805 Realty is at 805 Northeast 125th Street. You've already noticed they ripped out the green awning that was in front of, they stripped the green awning that was in front of their storefront. And they, you know, obviously they came to apply to replace the awning and to paint the building.
Can
The-
you hold it up a little bit higher? So
The
we can
lowest
see it?
bidded amount.
This is the connection of that building, so it would, you know, that building continues around the corner.
Yeah. So they're gonna use the same color scheme, they wanna have their same color scheme from across the street and from 901 Realty. And I think the awning that would be, it'd be black. The lowest bidded amount for the paint and for the awning for 805 Realty, the total came out to $13,304. So it would be a beautification grant, not to exceed $13,304. I did indicate to them that they should reach out to their neighbors to the right and to the left, because they're also in discussion on, you know, beautifying their own storefront and their own awnings and so on, to make sure that we're all, you know, on the same page and discussing.
So it's gonna be black?
Yeah.
There's an awning that just went up further down the street across from us. It's black.
It's
So
just,
this one-
we
this
saw
one just
the,
went up.
kind of the pattern,
So-
and it matches across, we thought it was good to like just keep the trend.
What fabric are you using, do you know?
It's a vinyl.
Is it Sunbrella, or is it, do you know the manufacturer?
I have to look at the estimate, but it's similar to what's up there now.
Okay.
It's got like a 10-year lifespan.
And I spoke to Mr. Ambrosino, which is a neighbor, and he's still deciding on his color pattern. So we're trying to coordinate, but he says one of the things they had talked about was like a gray. So we're kind of falling to the same spectrum.
Tell you the truth, when everything's the same, I don't particularly like it, because it's hard to distinguish when you're downtown and you're looking for something. Don't really, it all looks the same. It's hard to sort of get your bearing if you're looking for a particular store, in my opinion.
Yeah, so they're looking for 13,000 on this one, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
13,304.
I
That's
make
the
a
lowest.
motion.
Okay, make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? If not, okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Next item is also Taft Realty Group, right next door to it,
Which is the- that's the
823,
actual photo there.
841. Same exact thing, the lowest bidded amount for the paint and the awning came up to $14,135. So we're requesting to approve the $14,135 request. I just want to make two comments on past grant history. In 2012, there was a Beauty Essentials hair salon at the 847, which is within that strip. They received a beautification grant for $10,000 to do interior renovations, and that was in 2012. And also for note, Ira's Boutique that we had recently given a grant in May, they did a voluntary dissolution of corporation. She had some personal family medical emergency. She broke out of her lease and she dissolved the company. So that grant is no longer, and I had advised the property owner as well. Well, no, it's always on reimbursement, and she hadn't done anything.
She didn't do anything,
No, she hadn't done anything.
so we never.
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah, we didn't lose anything. You know,
I
as you
could
know,
do that.
the guidelines say if you receive the grant, you know, you have a window, a grace period, and so on. So, I did advise Mr. De La Rosa that, because they, as the property owner, had signed off on her application to apply for the grant, and then now they came back, so to keep tabs on their tenants and what grants that they're applying for and so on. And also, there were some violations due to unresolved business tax receipts, but the gentlemen were very diligent. They got all their tenants to come to the city and get all their business tax receipts up to date. So there are no open violations on those properties. And then that's about it. So we recommend approval of $14,135 as part of the beautification grant for that property.
Okay, any questions? Do I hear a motion?
I'm sorry, sit down. Mr. Each?
Yeah,
Okay.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great
And
project.
Thank you.
Mr.
We're looking forward to getting that street nice and clean.
Yeah. Mr.
One at a time.
Mr.
Thank you.
Chair, I want to change the attendance for Mr. Each and Mr. Robillard, who are present now. Thank you.
Just have a couple questions. Since I'm fairly new on the board, usually do we have a limit in terms of how many grants can be granted by the same person? Like, let's say, the gentleman that was just here, there were 3. Is there a limit or not? It doesn't matter if you have so many
Mr.
properties.
Attorney, well, the guidelines have it on the property, and he owns, he owns quite a bit of the property.
Our council will answer that.
The council can answer.
Thank you. The grants, the guidelines, these are based on each parcel of property. So as long as it's a separate folio number, someone could own 1 or 10 parcels in the city and apply for 1 or 10 grants, as long as they're for different properties. It's not based on ownership, it's based on property.
Okay. My second question, if you receive a grant on one property, and let's say for whatever reason, the thing comes deteriorated, when are you eligible to apply again for another grant on that same property?
There's different guidelines for the different grants. I think with the beautification grant, it's 3 years, and with the rehabilitation grant, it's 5 years.
Okay.
And I just want to make a comment that usually if you're, I can't say frown, but applying for the same grant again means the property was not maintained. It would be more of a maintenance issue. So like one of our past grantee came, I forgot the name of it, Nilu Inc. that we funded. They came a few years ago and we gave them a grant for a specific thing, and this time when they came it was for a different improvement to the property. So if you're applying for the same thing over and over again, it's more of a maintenance issue versus a rehab, so that would be something to discuss further.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So now we have the downtown brand marketing plan.
Yes. As part of our, CRA plan extension and amendment, one of the items in it was positioning the downtown North Miami market, positioning it for revitalization and redevelopment and so on and so forth. And after the plan was approved in February, the RMA consultant, I think Sharon McCormick, had come originally to discuss with you what they were going to do, the research that they were going to do. So this is a result of, this is the plan that they're presenting to us that we intend to implement next year. I'm very excited. We worked very hard on it. We were out late nights till 10 o'clock at night visiting other corridors, visit nightlife, doing, asset inventory at night here in the downtown and so on and so forth. So this is the plan. Now, your packets that you have here, because the applications were so voluminous, I did not print them out. I didn't want to have to kill so many trees. So the report is online, and I have a few here if you want to go through it, but I didn't want to incorporate it in the package. Okay? Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know if you were. So, my name is Sharon McCormick. I'm with RMA. I'm the Director of Business Attraction and Marketing for Redevelopment Management Associates. So, when I was here before, I gave you an overview of what we would be doing and how we've done different projects in other cities and what kind of marketing strategies have worked in other areas. So tonight, I'm going to now tell you, this basically sets a baseline. There's a lot of information in here that you probably have seen before, you know, in your other reports. I reviewed, I think it was either 9 or 11, I can't remember off the top of my head, different reports that have been done over the last several years, the, you know, parking analysis, the CRA, plan amendment, the downtown master plan, and several other plans that have been done. So, you know, this is just a recap. The situation. Sorry, you have to look. Do you want to move, Mike? Do you want to move around so it's not uncomfortable?
Okay.
It might. I don't know.
You sit right here next to Karen.
Yeah, maybe that'll be better. Because it is quite a visual presentation, obviously.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. No words. All the words come from my mouth, and all the pictures are on the screen for the most part. So anyway, this is just a brief recap. You know, understanding the situation here, looking at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, setting some clear, measurable objectives, and then establishing strategies, tactics, and a budget. So this budget included in here is just basically a guideline. It outlines some of the initiatives that we would want to work on. So we're going to talk about where are we now? What does the data say? What do our businesses say? What do our visitors say? Basically the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So this was the study area. It includes, you know, West Dixie, that area, 125th Street corridor, and then we also included the industrial corridor. Rasha and I did a lot of driving around in there, and we did do a lot of late nights, and there were some nights when I was driving around, even when we had left each other, and I was still just driving to get the feeling of what it's like to drive around at night, to, you know, walk during the evening as well. So some of the just basic information about consumer habits. I find this very interesting in marketing strategy. About 80% of a consumer's disposable income is spent in businesses within 10 miles or about 14-minute drive time from their homes. So this is just a graphic that I found that kind of illustrates that. So that's an important thing that we'll be looking at, and we always keep our eye on. I'm going to quickly go through. Oh, it looks like it's missing a slide. I had a slide in here about the CRA boundaries noted in red. I'm not sure where that slide went. I apologize for that. But what I wanted to tell you is that there are 44,000 people living inside the CRA. That's about 75% of the population. 230,000 people live within a 10-minute drive time. So that's an important number to think about, too, as the target market. And then in your household size, inside the CRA, it's about 3.1 people. The citywide is about 2.97. About almost 70% of the households are families. Some of the income characteristics, just real quickly, the median household income is around $31,000. And then the psychographics of the area. This is kind of again, we like to look at, you know, what are the demographics, but the psychographics speak more to how we're going to position a place and what it really authentically is. And the Esri reports, they have what's called tapestry segmentation. And these are the 3 segments that your population is described as: ethnic diversity, middle America, uniquely urban. Those are the kind of the key words from each of these categories. If you looked on the Esri reports and in the plan, it shows that global roots, traditional living, and metropolis are those 3 things. The first one, global roots, is identified by ethnic diversity. The people are not likely to have a PC, but they're very likely to use cell phones. So mobile marketing could be a target. In traditional living, it's middle America, hardworking. They take care of their homes and gardens, and they generally get their news and information from newspapers. So that's where print media would also come in. The metropolis is they live and work in American cities. It's very diverse. They take public transportation, diverse housing, diverse ages, uniquely urban, and they're very media oriented. They love dancing and music, especially urban and jazz. So those are the 3, you know, when you look at the outsiders looking in and kind of profiling if you will, North Miami, the makeup of North Miami. That's the snapshot. In our merchant survey, this was fantastic because your economic development manager conducted a survey. We worked on the questions together, and he had several questions. I threw several in, so we got some really good data. And the reason for opening businesses in North Miami was the community ties and the market need. Customers are coming, oh, and by the way, 20%, about a little over 20% of the downtown businesses responded to this survey. So that was a good cross-section as well. So half of their customers come from outside North Miami, and half of them within 5 miles. That's an interesting to look at as well. They said that grants and beautification are the two things that they would like to see most from the city or the CRA for assisting them with their business. And then our Intercept surveys, your Parks and Rec department has done 4 different Intercept surveys that I was able to review. And these were at special events. The one was at the La Grande Fiesta, Music on the Plaza, Art Basel, and the most recent one was the July 4th Intercept survey. The first three are actually included in the plan, and July 4th I just received, of course, the information. So word of mouth is by and large the way that people find out about events and things happening in the downtown or in the city. That is by and large how everyone finds out about it in most cities. So the use of word of mouth, I'll talk a little bit more later about the Neighborhood Ambassador Program we want to institute, and it just has a lot of importance. 76% of the people reported that they would consider moving to downtown Nomi if there were residential options available. Again, that was at an Art Basel event, so most of the people who were responding did not live in North Miami, so that was an interesting statistic. And then everyone wants restaurants, cafes, bars, lounges. Over and over again, we heard this in our Intercept surveys and also in the community survey and public input. We did a community survey. We had it on our Survey Monkey. Unfortunately, we only got 33 responses. Now, it was sent out 4 or 5 times by the city to all of the people who get the emails, but they told me that they do have kind of a low open rate, so that's something that we need to work towards, is be really providing something to the citizens so that they want to open it and they get look forward to it. Some of our, I've seen in our marketing strategies where we'll get a 42% open rate sometimes on emails because people become interested in what's happening. So, shops, restaurants, the public input meetings that we held, we heard the same things, parking, we need better parking, more variety in stores, the traffic is difficult. So it was very consistent. So what are people saying about North Miami? We did pretty extensive digital research, and when you Google, I wanted to put the Google search items in there because we kind of have, we need to create an identity and establish the identity and really support and grow the identity of North Miami, because you put in North Miami things to do and you come up with North Miami Beach, North Miami Beach. There's a North Miami Groupon, North Miami Beach, Miami, and Miami. So that's when you're a consumer and you're looking, what am I going to do in North Miami? This is what you'll find. Then additionally, one of your downtown stores, the Rabbit Hole, was featured in Miami New Times as one of the best places to shop in the Miami area. And while the description under the Rabbit Hole says North Miami, the actual location says North Miami Beach. So again, there's a distinguishing factor. It's an easy, confusing for somebody who doesn't know. So very important to come up with some distinguishing factors. Then, is North Miami safe? Again, what you find online is that it's rated as a number 5, meaning that only 5% of the cities in the United States are safer than North Miami. Whether that is the actual reality, this is what people will find online. So
I don't understand that.
yeah, that.
What do you mean?
It's rated, the crime index is a 5. 100 is the safest. So they're saying on this, it's called Area Vibe is the name of the site. When you just, is North Miami safe? That's the thing that's going to pop up first is Area Vibe. And you look at North Miami and they have it listed based on crime data that they receive that only 5% of the cities in the country are safer than North Miami.
Only 5% are safe.
That are more, I'm sorry, that are, I'm saying it backwards, they're only 5% have more crime than North Miami.
So 95%
Have less, yes.
That's not good.
Yeah. So again, this is a really, well, you'll see when I talk about some of the strategies, it's going to be really important to have direct communications. Rush has already started with a police officer downtown, and to really help people to understand and drive what we have to do. The Running Man, what you see on the left there, is the Running Man challenge is the second thing that you see on a YouTube search. The first thing you see is driving through ghetto North Miami. What we have to do is continue with things like that Running Man challenge and push all of the good to the top so this, the negative goes down. So it's a great start, and we have to continue that so that this Area Vibes also, with police working on, trying to fight crime as well everywhere, that this crime index number goes up.
But what's the reality? What's the truth statistically?
Statistically, that is, they're taking specific crime stats. What's important with marketing, like doing a marketing program, is actually working with the police department to understand where hot spots are. Because you can have every city has hot spots, and downtown is probably not a hot spot. So what we have to do is position that, downtown North Miami is safe, a safe, wonderful place, make people feel comfortable, they know where they're going, and things like that. So it's really working very closely with the police department. Just as as an example, when I was the marketing manager in the city of West Palm Beach, I met with the police department every month and went over every single the hot spots and all of the crime stats and what was happening, so that if something bad happened, in the neighborhood next door, for example, it didn't get generalized to the entire city or to the area we were redeveloping and working in, that we were able to get that real information out.
What are these numbers come from? Part 1 crimes, or what are they saying? This company, this North Miami crime data, what did they come up
It's
with?
statistics.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's okay.
It's called, I believe the website is areavibes.com. I've got a screenshot of it in the plan as well. And you can,
Area Vibe.
areavibes.com, I believe, is the website.
And where do they get their stats from? Where do they get their information? Is it accurate?
We asked for,
It comes from the FBI UCR data.
yeah, thank you.
So for instance, what is the crime rate of the city of Miami?
The city of Miami's gonna be right there with us.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay. So the future, let's, go to the future. There will be population growth, more people spending money, and more people shopping. As we've heard tonight, we've got an 8,000 square foot furniture store coming. So this is going to happen. Everyone knows about Solomia. I wanted to include it because obviously it will be more residents, more retail, hotel. And then this was hot off the presses in Real Deal. It's not in the actual plan, but I put it in this presentation. So this was just a few days ago. I don't know if everyone has seen this article. Russia, where exactly? It's what I don't know the exact.
124th and
120.
by the train tracks.
It's only 2 blocks away from where we are right now.
Well, that's more than 2 blocks, the train tracks.
You're talking about west of the train tracks? East?
Yeah, northeast.
Huh?
East.
We're west of the train tracks right now.
Yeah, so east of it.
This is
on
gonna be east of the
124th.
train tracks.
And then in the tourist market, there are 15.5 million people that stay overnight in Miami-Dade County. 13.4 million fly into Fort Lauderdale and 22.4 million into Miami. These are just some stats. New York is a major market, as you can see there. One of the mayor had one of the quarterly meetings had the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau do a presentation, so I definitely wanted to include that in this presentation to see, where people are coming from and opportunities to capitalize. What happens in the Greater Miami CVB website, it does not feature North Miami in there. You can see, though, that some of the featured locations are heading north with Little Haiti. So it's very likely that through the mayor's efforts and through the efforts of this kind of marketing strategy and positioning this downtown as a place where visitors would want to come, and in addition to going to the beach is the #1 thing that people do in this market, but really being able to, hopefully 1 year from now, the goal would be to have North Miami listed. Now, there's listed as the North Miami area, and there is a picture, an old picture of Mocha. So updating that, communicating with the CVB, and really giving them a reason to want to, and a reason for people to want to come here and enjoy North Miami would be important. I wanted to add this too about Airbnb. Just keep it on the radar. You do have on the left, those are Airbnb locations in North Miami. The one on the right is the entire Greater Miami area. And it's just something to keep an eye on. Airbnb is out there, and some regulations are starting, but you do have locations here in North Miami. So the vision for the downtown is, a place where there's live music, great food, stunning art, and unique shopping. That's what we've been working on, and what we believe is what everyone really wants for downtown. So where are we going? What are the goals, and how do we get there? In the very beginning, when I was here before, I talked about the 5 C's: the collect, connect, collaborate, communicate, and create. We've collected data and information. We've talked to people. We've connected dots that weren't connected before, kind of seeing things that could be put together. Now it's really time to collaborate, communicate, and create and collaborate, and vice versa, and keep going that circle around. So the first item is to the identity and branding of the downtown. The goal is to develop an identifiable, distinguishable downtown brand and create a comprehensive campaign message to be used exclusively across all media channels. Now, that was in line with goal number 5 of the CRA plan. Everything in this plan works back to the amended CRA plan and the goals established there, and kind of takes them into some tactical things. The next slides I'm going to show you are for concepts only. So we just wanted to start the creative ideas flowing and some thinking going on how we can position and really market the downtown area. So these are concepts. The left would be like a walker's guide, and just some images of how the social media or a website could look. This is a potential logo for the downtown, taking all of the elements from the city's logo and the compass, and then taking that compass and turning it into a kaleidoscope. The kaleidoscope is something that has kept coming to me and Rasha as we talk about things in North Miami, the diversity here. You're the most diverse city in the Miami region. And then a campaign concept would be, downtown Nomi, the savory, soulful destination where it's tasteful, rhythmic, eccentric would be words that could be used to describe downtown North Miami. And then a campaign around the business owners in downtown, which is Rasha's favorite, to know me is to love me. And we could do the photography here is just iStock, or Getty images, and what we would actually do is photography of the real people. And that was a campaign, when we did Real Faces, Real Places 11 years ago in West Palm Beach in Northwood Village. It was part of an international award. So we were thinking about how the similarities were here, and through this, process that we've gone through, to know me is to love me kind of popped up. So that's what we were looking at there. And then here are just some more ideas on how banners. Imagine driving down 125th Street, and when you enter the area, even before you have signage or specific signage that says "Welcome to Downtown," there's one that's kind of a little off where the real entrance is, but there's no entrance from Biscayne, for example. But imagine you enter this downtown, and on all the light pole banners you see, you know, downtown Nomi, tasteful, rhythmic, eccentric, and to know me is to love me, and you see the real faces of people. So you're driving through and you really get a sense of place. The picture on the far right is from one of the stores, and I zoomed in really close, and I just think that it's so cool and eccentric and fun, and so that's what that is. The identity, branding, communications, business attraction and retention strategies, they kind of overlap here with communications. We're looking at some ideas for an updated North Miami CRA logo. Rasha and I have been working on that as well, and just that, you know, that'd be a sample of getting an email in your news, in your email saying upcoming events, downtown specials, business highlights, volunteer opportunities, or whatever the categories might be. There would be two types of emails, though. This is kind of illustrative of a consumer email, but we'd also have a business email. And typically a consumer email would go out once a week, and a business newsletter would go out once a month. So attracting new businesses to the downtown, creating and launching an incubator program and a chef challenge, a restaurant incubator program, establishing a merchant assistance interior grant program, and communications, these regular monthly newsletters and property owners and meetings and workshops. It was about 97% of the businesses surveyed said that they would attend workshops if they were offered by the city and the CRA, and would appreciate that. There are approximately 2,500 businesses in the city of North Miami. About 9% of those are in the downtown. And we just heard about La Strada Furniture, and Rasha, as far as business attraction, she's working right now with five businesses that are looking in the downtown, and is really answering the phone now. People are really starting to move north, migrate north, hear about things that are happening, and hear about the grand opening. So there's a lot of interest from developers as well. So this is just some illustration of you know, some roundtable workshops, a banker, broker, developer event that can be hosted to showcase opportunities in the city of North Miami and downtown. Attending ICSC, which is in August. We're planning to be there, and we've represented North Miami before. We're planning to do that again with Rasha. And then you could imagine opening your business in downtown North Miami where you have materials, so that it makes it easier for a business to know what the steps are. So then a culinary incubator and the chef challenge. This is one we've spent a lot of time discussing, and with the idea that we want more restaurants and shops in the downtown, a concept, we've looked at a culinary incubator and turning a location in the downtown into a test kitchen, perhaps a chef challenge. One of the ideas that I want to share with you, and this is again just an idea, but we've put into the plan that we would host monthly events and collaborate with the Nomadic Art Walk and things that are happening. So where these types of events happen isn't as important right now as just understanding these are some of the creative ideas that we can come up with to attract restaurants and to engage new talent in the restaurant industry. So one of these ideas to do a chef challenge, which is a concept, would be called Switch 26. And it's an idea that's like Seasons 52 is a restaurant that 52 times out of the year there's a different menu. So Switch 26 could be that every 2 weeks there's a different chef featured at a special event. And the people who are attending these events, they buy tickets, they vote, they critique, and then you select one of those 26 chefs to win 6 months in your incubator program. Or maybe it's 2, maybe 1 out of 13 is chosen, depending on the incubator program and, purchasing the building and getting the build out ready. And the idea is that if you incubate a restaurateur, a brand new restaurateur for the 6 months, they would be finding their permanent location, doing their build out, testing their menus, and really getting to the next level. Comment?
It's very, very, very management
Yes.
We have Johnson and Rosen, if I
Mm-hmm.
clear
We
that, yeah,
rewrote partnership into the strategies,
Okay.
for sure. And then, of course, just continuing with grand openings and grand reopenings as part of the plan. Russia's already established a 5% cap, which is up to $2,500 for grand openings and reopenings. 2.5%, excuse me. Yeah, $2,500, 2.5%. This is, and then for launching a merchant assistance program. This is, in the examples that I've used here, these were businesses who had been in an area for more than 3 years. So again, that would be the advisory board and the board's decision on a new grant program. How, if the business would need to be here for 5 years or 3 years or 2 years, that just depends on what the needs are when you assess, exactly which businesses could take advantage of this. But this is a merchant assistance grant program that's only for the interior of spaces. So what you'll find in a redevelopment area, she's got brand new people coming in, and there's new businesses are coming in, and they look beautiful. They feel pretty, they look pretty, everything is wonderful about them. And then you have established businesses that, yes, they can get a facade program, a facade grant, and their outside would look good, but then their interior looks old and tired, and they might need some help. So really establishing a merchant assistance program for that purpose is extremely helpful. This is a Haitian restaurant that you can see the before and after. And it's the only grant program that has that everything isn't attached to the building. So that's why there's an importance that a business is established and would be staying, buying tablecloths and tables and chairs and et cetera. And here's another one. This is a Jamaican restaurant. So then customer-based special events, cultural assets, and advertising. The goals are to launch a monthly strolling event, enhance the Jazz at Mocha event and the Pneumatic Art Walk, capitalize on all Mocha events with cross-promotional campaigns, cross-promotional materials that can be distributed there, establish an events and promotions assistance grant program, establish a neighborhood and university ambassadors program, and launch the NOMI cross-promotional advertising campaign. So when I say, launch a monthly strolling event, in addition to the Nomadic Art Walk, the monthly strolling event could be the chef showcase, perhaps, and then the Nomadic Art Walk. When I say enhancing that, that means actually, in my mind and in my world, giving money to help incentivize people to walk in, whether it needs to be a wine tasting inside the shops, whether there needs to be puzzle pieces. Say you take a piece of art and you turn it into puzzles, and the only way you can get all the pieces of the puzzle is to walk into all the stores and really experience what that walk is like, so that you get engaged with more people and more people have to go inside. Another idea is flowers, during Mother's Day or other special events, but really being able to support that way to get more people walking on the street, more people engaged in walking across the street from the jazz event, because I watched. We watched. People come and they sit and they would listen to jazz, and they just leave. And they may or may not walk across the street. Some of them did, and I do believe that it's an event that can really grow and provide a lot more opportunity for businesses to be seen, and just figuring out the ways with the people involved, with the merchants involved and the chamber, on how can the CRA support that and enhance that. Establishing a grants program, events and promotion assistance grant program. The other thing is, in a downtown, you want activity more than just 1 or 2 nights a month when there's a special event. So really providing an opportunity for a business that wants to do some kind of a special event, establishing a grant program where the CRA is assisting with financially. So what I attached in the program in the plan is an example of a 50-50 match up to $1,000. If a business spent $2,000 or more on any type of event, the CRA would reimburse $1,000, and that's for their food, their marketing, whatever it would be, because they're going to bring. There are all kinds of criteria. They would bring people into the district who'd never been here before. perhaps working with a nonprofit and having a fundraising event for a nonprofit at their store, and then cross-promoting with the other businesses. So that's another thing that is written into the plan. Then developing a neighborhood ambassador program. This is where, the research and the Intercept surveys really support the fact that a neighborhood ambassador program where we engage neighbors to know about the new businesses, the new restaurants, the new shops, the new services, and share the treasures. That was one of the things that came in at the public input meetings, is that there are hidden treasures here. So a neighborhood ambassador program engages people in neighborhoods to get involved and attend the grand openings and attend ribbon cuttings and to know what's going on, and they are the word of mouth. So then the last couple of things are the physical environment, the streetscapes, parking, and wayfinding. The main point is communications in this part of it. We need to make sure that we communicate, the status of all of these projects with all the businesses and residents, mainly through an email database, but we'll have to do things to grow that email database, which is your neighborhood ambassadors and your events and things like that. Promoting the available grants to the business and property owners, which Rasha is doing, but then again, getting deeper and making sure everyone knows about that. Installing downtown branded pedestrian wayfinding signs will be important, and launching a mini facade grant program. So there's just some of the things that are going to be happening. We know you're going to have a parking garage, and some things are going to go under construction soon. It'll be really important that the more information we can get out to the community about construction projects and when areas would be closed, when they need to, divert, the less calls the city will get with angry people not being able to get where they need to go. And it's a very strong communications strategy. Linking to the walker's guide would be downtown pedestrian wayfinding signs. Very important for people to feel safe. If they know where they're going, they feel safer. So it's more than just a pretty guide. It really does have a lot of meaning, and when you have these signs that match some guide. And a mini facade program. This is the other new program that is written into this plan about doing a small facade grant program for business owners who their property owner is not going to take advantage of a grant, of one of your facade grants, and they're being left behind, and the business owner, really wants to stay there, is really doing well. So just a small painting, lighting, signage, and awnings to update. The two on the right speak to your point earlier about it's one building, but it's painted two different ways so that people can really recognize the two different businesses. Are in one building, two front doors, but same property owner, but that property owner would not do a facade grant. So a little $5,000 painting and lighting and signage for these two stores made a huge difference. So next is conducting that clean and safe analysis and developing a comprehensive clean and safe program. We talked a little bit about that already, and improve the perception that and position North Miami as a safe place to live, work, visit, and enjoy. The pictures on the left are your own police department, and the Running Man Challenge video was absolutely amazing. I would love to see that push up to the top as the very first thing, and I'm sure that it will the more that people share it and watch it and put it on their own Facebook pages, and it goes more and more viral. So then the final section is about murals, community enhancement, art in public places. So the idea is to implement the projects that beautify or activate unexpected places, such as the Arts Warehouse District, and implement the utility box art wrap program that has been approved, I think, already. So here's an image just to give you an idea of, some murals, and I believe they're not allowed, right, Rasha, at all? So in targeted areas, changing that zoning so that murals can be allowed in certain areas. And then there's a program called Urban Acupuncture. And this is where spaces are activated that are completely unexpected. So this happens to be a professor, an urban design professor at FAU, with their students, got together and activated an alleyway. This is something that could very easily be done in the arts district, in the between those warehouses, to really give a feeling of what can be, and change the way something looks. And this was done in a two-day period with a bunch of students. So really cool ideas to be able to implement, and we've written all that into the program. So that is the overview of everything I just talked about, and I'll be happy to take any questions, and I thank you.
Any questions, anyone?
It's very thorough.
We put a lot of work.
We used to have, we had, wasn't at that time Jazz at Mocha, but it was concert.
yeah.
We had food at that time, with the different restaurants who provided food, which is always.
Mm-hmm.
And my other thing, and Robert's looking at this, I can't ask him, is that you're talking about getting people to go from Jazz at Mocha across the street to the art thing. Maybe it's possible to get a pedestrian crosswalk.
Yeah, we do have police and those nights that are there to slow down
Yeah, but
traffic
you
and
have
to
a
cross
light.
it. No, I know, and then that's something that we're working on, because we're looking at also how we're gonna redevelop the 125th Street to make it more more walkable and things like that, so that's coming. And if I'm not mistaken, the council approved this month to have designs for 125th Street with bulb outs and things like that. So those type of things are gonna kind of slow traffic, and we will be able to put in a walking, a pedestrian walk cross paths.
In the meantime, one of the things that does help to get people to walk across the street like that is the police who are there, and cones, just orange cones. And because it causes traffic to slow down and people to feel more safe walking back and forth, even though there's an officer directing the traffic back and forth. We did it on Atlantic Boulevard for about 2.5 years while we hosted an event that was on both sides of the street. And Atlantic is a divided highway, basically.
Yes, Doctor.
So, for all of this project, how much money are we talking about this?
Well, no, this is the plan that we're gonna implement once the CRA is extended. I mean, it is an investment, it is part of our plan. The document has a lot of great ideas, even like creating these mini grant programs. We just have to allocate the funds. This is not something that's gonna be done within, right away within a year. But if we wanna be positioned in a way where we're kind of are now, but for people to say, okay, I wanna be in North Miami. This is, instead of being in Wynwood, I call it I want to be now, which is north of Wynwood. So, and to get them to come and want to come, and because they've heard a lot about it. I'm telling you, like nonstop, my phone is ringing. I mean, I'm meeting this gentleman is coming from Texas in 2 weeks, and he wants to talk about a Papado restaurant. Papado, Creole seafood.
Yeah,
They're in all the
that's,
airports. For moi, I'm loving it. But the point is, when they come here, and then they need to see that we're actually doing what we say we're gonna do. We have to actually get the work done. And, fake it till you make it, right? We've been faking it. Now we actually have to implement it. And if you see even the logo that we're working on, the colors, they match the city logo with the compass and so on. We're trying to make sure that the colors were vibrant, and it makes people wanna come and see what it is that we're doing here. So it's as we move along, as the plan is approved by the county and we're extended and so on and so forth, I'll be bringing to you and to the CRA board all these new grant programs for you to review and make comments and approve. It's not something that's gonna happen right away. It's just we hired them to give us a plan so that we can activate the downtown properly and professionally.
And in the tactical section, there are estimates.
Yeah.
On each line item, that you can kind of look at, this program could be between, $5,000 and $20,000. This one could be
Yeah,
between,
putting banners all
you know,
along after the holidays
Yeah.
for people to know, okay, we've identified our perimeter, this is the downtown area and things like that. But, those costs will be in there.
and some things don't have a, price tag on them, and it means a staff member needs to be doing it. It's just a lot of different tactical things, like an email doesn't have a price tag on it, but somebody has to do it, so, staff, yes.
Yes, indeed, very, very great concept. I understand this is obviously just downtown, not Miami.
Just-
Now, we're gonna have a Chinatown on the other side. Is there any way that we're gonna tie the two together, or that's
Well,
totally?
if you Uber to it, yes.
Yes.
There's a Chinatown master plan. The RFQ went out and it was recently closed, and they're about to select the architect that will come with the design and the feasibility, the market study for that. There will be a connectivity when you think about it from
Yes.
the train station to the downtown, to the Chinatown, to the Music City. And as we activate West Dixie also, we haven't even talked about West Dixie, all the other major corridors.
Mhm.
There will be a connectivity to it, but, when you look at an area, the downtown is always the heart of the city.
Of course.
And if you're not investing any time and money into it right now, who's gonna see, they don't see you're investing, so then why should they come? So that's the priority, and as soon as it starts building on its own, and like I said, we've been getting a lot of phone calls and things like that, then the focus will be on these other areas.
And tying them together as well, because if you start with a walker's guide in the downtown for now, this year, right off the bat, you can, couple of months, you could have a downtown walker's guide, and there are places to go in the downtown.
Yeah.
So then as Chinatown starts to develop, the walker's guide you typically do at least once a year, or you do it once a year. You don't do it more often because it gets too cost prohibitive, because you're listing the businesses. And more will come in and some might go out, that kind of thing. So you do it once a year. So each time you update a walker's guide, then that's when you can start adding on to other areas to make sure you check out with links and guides. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
As a matter of fact, there's an article coming out, I believe, in the Biscayne Times. There's a movement to create a art district on West Dixie Highway.
Oh, good.
So a lot of the businesses are gotten together, and what they want to do is they want to create a West Dixie art district. So, and hopefully it'll tie into
Yeah.
125th Street, just so it'll just be a continuation on up, and West Dixie could sure use it.
Oh, yeah,
Did you
most
see
definitely.
the article in the Biscayne
Not
Times?
yet.
Oh, is it
They
last
come out?
From last month,
Yeah, last month, yeah.
about Chinatown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
No,
saw that.
there's gonna be one now on the West Dixie thing.
So,
Thank you
one
very
quick
much
question,
for
did
the,
you like to know me is to love me?
Yeah, I like that, yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I like
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah,
I'm just
thank you very
hinting.
much for the
Thank you.
presentation.
I'm just
Yeah.
hinting.
Awesome.
Hinting, thank you.
I think that the presentation, there's a huge amount of work there. I'm very pleased.
Yeah.
Oh, huge
There's a
amount.
lot. Yeah,
I'm just hinting.
good work too.
Okay, now we have,
So-
Clark's favorites.
Yes,
favorite
please.
report.
The CRA extension.
Yeah.
Well, it
Your
has to
favorite
happen,
report.
or it
No,
has
we
to
know,
happen,
we
or
know,
we're
we
not
know.
gonna,